Hello gainers, welcome to my channel. I'm Ralphie and my channel's called Fitter Philosophy, and the reason it's called Fitter Philosophy, excuse me while I adjust myself to get the best lighting under the circumstance. The problem when you're recording outdoors is, particularly such a bright day, you get a lot of shadows and it can become a bit intrusive, but I think we've got it just about right, so I mustn't move from this spot. Anyway, I'm Ralphie, welcome to my channel Fitter Philosophy, in which I basically attach my life experience and what I've observed over quite a number of decades to philosophy to give a practical and stoic take on it. One of the problems, of course, with philosophy is that it tends to be considered academic and ethereal and something that's an intellectual pursuit. And yet, a philosophy in our own personal lives is a huge advantage, far larger than people generally appreciate. And I want to give you a good example of that, and the example is planning. In recent videos, I've been discussing planning from a necessity perspective. We should all plan for this and try and keep control of it, and essentially that's what it is. Particularly during a pandemic, particularly at a moment in time when people are feeling less in control of personal circumstances due to lockdowns and furloughs and the sudden shock on personal circumstances. And for many people it's really quite profound, and it's a result of this that we want to get back what control we can on our lives under the circumstances. Even as the world around us seems to be going insane, going mad, and there's a reason for that. It's a cyclical thing. It's always happened in history, and it's just the way the world is. And when we accept that, it starts to make it easier to make arrangements and plans around it. So there's no point in raging against the machine. The machine is what it is. But what we should do is rage against our indifference to our own lives because we don't plan and we let others plan for us. We should always be the masters and captains of our own ships as we sail across the waters of time in the ocean of life. I'm just trying to remember that quote. Reason being that so many people confuse existence with life and therefore live less and exist more. For many reasons. It could be courage, it could be relationships, it could be situation, it could be fear, it could be excessive commitment and spending or addiction. Good example, cigarettes, alcohol, other drugs, plenty to choose from. But if we take, first of all, an identity on what we can control, then we know what we can plan around. Now, for much of my life, I haven't been particularly well paid in the jobs I've been doing, so I've had to plan my finances carefully. And the result is, one result of which is that I never put money in the bank because I simply don't trust them. And I found myself just buying bottles of whiskies over the decades, of which I've sold quite a few now, and I can supplement my pension reasonably comfortably because it's a very modest pension I have. I've always had a modest job, a practical job, a real job, nothing high finance and all the rest of it. But within my situation, I made plans as best I could for myself, knowing my strengths, knowing my weaknesses, knowing the situation around me, knowing what I wanted to do in life, knowing what I did not want to do in life. And we should take the opportunity on a regular basis not only to draw up plans for our own lives, personal lives, knowing us more than anybody else can possibly know us, but we should also be planning what we don't want to do. Some vague notions that we might have of climbing a mountain or joining the army or something, I don't know, there's so many things. But it's identifying what we don't want to do and what our ambitions in life are not, which informs us as much as what we identify as what we want to do. If we can know our strengths and weaknesses and our interests, all the better. And there's only one way to do that, and that is to basically explore. Seize the day. And by exploring, I mean, if we fancy playing a musical instrument, try it. If we don't take to it, there's nothing lost. At least we tried it. But there's a good way of looking at this. And that is to look around you at other people that you know or are passing in the street. And look at them and ask yourself, have they made plans in their life? Or have they allowed plans to be made for them by circumstances? And you will see the results written on people's faces. Some people will shuffle past you in the street, the head's down, their mind's down, they're looking down because they're feeling down, they are down because they can't look up, they can't look forward, they cannot look ahead because it's not in their lives, they haven't put it there. They have allowed themselves to be victims, and that's a very dangerous thing to do, to allow yourself to become a victim, because you're abdicating control over yourself onto other circumstances over which you have no control. You're losing control. When we plan for the day, plan for the week, plan for the month, plan for the year, plan for a decade. A decade's plans can be very generalised because as we make our plans, our circumstances as dictated by life will change. They can change for the worse, but they can also change for the better. A sudden promotion, a change of job, finding a new friend, ending a sour relationship successfully without too much financial aftershock. Divorce, by the way, in any language is a very expensive business and very, very damaging. Avoid it if you can. Make plans, be careful. It's so easy to jump in and do things spontaneously, but the skill is to know when the spontaneity is right and know when the spontaneity is wrong, and for that we need some planning. I'll finish by saying here's my personal plans. My personal plan for today is to do 2 pieces of whiskey related business, I'll call it. It's a hobby really, but I've got to be business-alike about it, as so many people that have hobbies and online are. I've got a phone call to make that I'm hoping is going to produce something really exciting, so I'll make it today, I won't leave it till tomorrow. And also, I've got to go online and order an empty wooden cask from a cooperage. And I can procrastinate and put it off, but today I have planned I will do that. Now for the rest of the day I've not planned too much, but I've got 2 tasks for today and I will definitely get them done. I will not leave them till tomorrow and tomorrow and tomorrow. Next week I plan to be doing a bit more exercise, particularly walking, as I get myself slim and trim for the summer. And I plan to do more whiskey related business, and also to get my next book, which I've written, reformatted and hopefully published within the next month. So that's my plan for next month, to get a book published and to clean the house more, clean my kitchen more, you know, with a scrubber, the green scrubbing and some proper detergent. So I've written all this down, and it's best summarised in a daily diary. If you keep a daily diary, you can see what you're planning ahead, but importantly, you can see what you've done in the past, and then it's up to you to decide, am I living or am I existing? Don't be like the people around you. Well, not all of them. Some people are living, positive, outward going, getting a lot from life. But beside them and all around us are other people who are not. They think they're living, but they're just ticking over. They're sort of existing and managing, and they're doing a fraction of what they're capable of doing, and that's a shame. It's a very sorry situation. Don't be one of these victims. After all, victims don't have control of their such situation and circumstances. Just saying. Thank you for watching. If you enjoyed this, click likey, subscribe, and the bell, tap the bell, etc. I'm Ralphie, this is Fit to Philosophy, and I'm going to leave you with a view behind me. I should slow my talking down a little bit so I'm clearer. So I'm going to leave you now with that beautiful view behind me of a nice white house and the snow-covered mountain in the background. Bye-bye.